But kind of staying on the backup center role, a guy that I am kind of interested in, I don't know if the Kings have been tied to him at all, really, but is Jared Vanderbilt. I see that. I think the Jazz are interested in moving this guy. I guess they're looking for like 2 second rounders for him. He's just kind of like an enforcer. He's kind of undersized for a center at 6'9", but I don't know. Like 2 second rounders, I'd do that in a heartbeat. Considering Mason Plumlee, I think Charlotte's looking for a first rounder for him. Noel, I don't know what they're looking for with Noel, but
they're just looking for like second round draft compensation and then just not taking on any money or anything like that.
Okay, so I mean, Noel would be good.
That was the report from when he first was kind of like, oh, he's available a couple months ago, if memory serves.
Yeah, I haven't really heard much about him really since, except that teams are still interested in him.
Oh yeah, and a lot of teams are interested in him. I think Miami, Dallas, Sacramento, Philadelphia, Boston are all like on the phone talking about Noel, and I'm not talking about Christmas. It's stupid.
But kind of going back to Vanderbilt, he's under contract next year. A younger guy, fits the timeline. Jazz seem like they're ready to get rid of him. That's what the reports are saying. So I don't know. I don't know if you've really looked much into him. I know we didn't really discuss this beforehand, but like, shoot, I would trade him. I would trade for him for 2 second rounders.
Yeah, why not? I mean, not the biggest guy in the world. It's 6'8", 214. But I don't know a ton about Jared Vanderbilt. It's just kind of.
I don't either. I know.
Looks like a good rebounder.
Yeah, good rebounder.
On like one attempt a game, he's shooting 33% from deep. I mean, not showing off my my player analysis skills here.
Yeah, I know we didn't discuss this beforehand, but I mean, he's a good rebounder. Averages about 8 rebounds a game. And the guy you can put down low. It's better than Metu. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Better than Metu. A guy who's under contract. A guy I would be, happy to bring in next year. A good defensive guy. I think he can fit into Brown's defensive scheme well. As a guy who I haven't really heard the Kings be connected with him and like saying they're interested in him, but I can't imagine that for 2 second rounders they wouldn't be. But there seems to be plenty of options at that center, that backup center. But again, like a lot of people are interested in them and all the backup centers. So who will the Kings realistically be able to come out with one of them? I don't know.
I'm watching like those all possessions videos from games for a particular player. I'm watching because he played in that January 3rd game against the Kings in Utah. Why not?
Yeah.
Based off a glance. Pretty good defense there on Fox. No, he fouled him. Never mind. Sorry.
Decent defense. Decent defense, athletic, can run the floor well.
And even if he doesn't like plug in right away, it's just like at least gives you another option that is legitimate, something you can work with. Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, especially if Utah is just trying to, I don't know, get rid of him. You said they're looking for a couple of
second rounders. Yeah.
I mean, like, man, especially if we're talking about competition on the market for a backup 5 being pretty high. I don't know. You got to kind of like be realistic here. I think if the Kings found a way to just get Vanderbilt for the 2 picks, that might be. It sounds so simple, so it almost sounds unrealistic, but that would be great. Like that's a great pickup, especially if you end up moving Holmes too. Yeah. So it's like if you pair, because on that question about like, well, would you trade like TD and Holmes to Philadelphia? And I said like if you're getting another wing, well, if you're getting Vanderbilt, like I would that might work. What's Vanderbilt's contract situation? Is he under contract next season?
He'd be under contract next year for around 4.5 mil.
That's pretty good.
I think he's around like 24, 25. So he fits the timeline. Someone who can plug in with 20. Yeah, look at that, 23.
Well, shoot, look at that.
Yeah, so a guy who can fit the timeline. I don't know, it'd be interesting. A guy you can probably plug in behind. I mean, it says power forward. He plays power forward mostly, but I think you can throw him in at that center.
He
I
was,
mean,
yeah, they had
if
him.
Matthew's a center, then anyone's a center.
This guy's a center, yeah. Yeah, no, that's interesting. I hadn't even good nugget there. Where'd you see that report about him?
Well, I've seen a lot of Kings like accounts on Twitter or whatever. Just see a lot of like fans being like, yeah, like we should go after Vanderbilt. It'd be good as a backup center. And I saw a report come out saying that Utah is trying to get rid of him, and they're looking for. I don't know if it said they're looking for 2 second rounders or a team has offered 2 second rounders, and like it seemed like that was kind of like the price to pry him away. I don't know, it'd be interesting. So, I mean, it sounds like you can get him on the cheaper side.
I mean, it's interesting because now we're talking about Utah Jazz. Because wouldn't Kelly Olynyk also be another backup center candidate?
That's very true. What are the Jazz's plans? Are they just? I mean, I don't understand why they're not in like full rebuild. Unless they are.
They're kind of. I don't know. They're just doing like a hybrid thing.
Yeah,
it's working out. That's what happens when you get Markkanen. It's like
that's true.
That's kind of really softens the brunt of a rebuild, you know. But yeah, I guess the Celtics are interested in Kelly Olynyk.
Olynyk would be huge because he's also a guy who can stretch the floor. I like Olynyk. I mean, he's a solid player, been around for a minute. Now they're be the two Gonzaga boys, right, at the center position.
There you go.
So that'd be kind of funny, but no, I mean, I would love Olynyk. Probably a little pricier than Vanderbilt. I'm trying to look up he's making. He's on a 3-year, $37 million contract. So that's about $12 million a year. Like to get him though, you'd have to give up Holmes essentially.
I don't know.
And it just seems a little. Yeah, I mean, why would Utah want Holmes for Olynyk? So
yeah, because I'm reading here. There's a lot of speculation about whether or not the Celtics will trade Peyton Pritchard to try to bolster other areas. And it's like the Kings don't really have that guy. I mean, like,
no, exactly.
Peyton Pritchard is like, yeah, that's a guy. Like that guy could be pretty good in this league, and he's kind of like a luxury resource, kind of in the way that Terrence Davis is for the Kings, but even more so. I feel like he has more pull.
100%.
He does. The finals last season. Still very young.
He's showing glimpses of being good. So
plays hard, but yeah. Jared Vanderbilt. It's funny I feel like if the Kings traded for Vanderbilt, you'd probably see 2 or 3 more games of Metu being the backup 5. And then they go to Vanderbilt and be like, "Oh, I didn't even know this guy was going to be. He's really been a shot in the arm for us." Like, man, why'd you wait this long? It's like when Trey Lyles didn't play like 3 of the first 5 games or something.
I know that was weird.
What been doing, man?
KZ, dude.